Okay, folks, buckle up, because today we are diving deep into the wild world of tariffs and interest rates.
Two things that sound super dry, I know.
Right. But trust me, this one's a roller coaster.
Mm.
You know how sometimes like the most boring sounding stuff
Yeah.
actually has these like crazy stories behind them?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is one of those stories. So we're going to try to figure out this like weird connection between interest rates and tariffs.
Okay.
And specifically, like, why President Trump's take on this whole thing really got economists scratching their heads.
Yeah, they were not happy.
No, they were not. We've got a super interesting Reuters article that breaks down all the economic what-ifs.
Yeah.
And we've even got a little snippet from Trump himself, straight from Truth Social.
Ooh, straight from the source.
Straight from the source. All right, so to kick things off, let's just do a super quick, like, Tariff 101.
Yeah, good idea.
For anyone who might need a refresher.
Totally.
Basically, tariffs are like taxes on stuff we import from other countries.
Yeah.
So that makes those things more expensive for us regular folks.
Right.
Which can then, like, snowball and cause all sorts of craziness in the economy.
Wait, yeah, lots of unintended consequences.
Right. Okay, so now, the thing that's really wild is that in this Truth Social post, Trump is, like, all about lowering interest rates.
Okay.
At the same time that he's slapping these tariffs on everything,
Interesting.
he even says, and I quote, interest rates should be lowered, something which would go hand in hand with upcoming tariffs, with 3 exclamation points.
3 exclamation points. Wow, he was serious.
He was not messing around. So help me out here. I feel like usually when things get more expensive, like with tariffs,
Yeah,
you'd raise interest rates to like cool things down, right?
exactly. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Tariffs usually mean inflation, right? Like
Right.
things in general are getting pricier.
Right.
So the textbook response to that is you raise interest rates to kind of pump the brakes on the economy.
Okay, so back up for a second. Because I feel like some folks might be like, wait, hold on. Why would making it more expensive to borrow money actually help with things being expensive?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. It does seem a little counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
But basically, when interest rates are higher, it means it costs more to borrow money.
Okay.
So people are less likely to take out loans for big stuff like houses or cars.
Right.
Less demand means prices don't go up as fast.
Got it.
So it's kind of like a way to slow down how fast everything's getting more expensive.
So it's like a balancing act.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got Trump on one side saying tariffs, A&D, lower interest rates, which seem like they're working against each other.
Yeah.
And then the Reuters article mentions Jerome Powell, who was running the Fed at the time.
Right. The Federal Reserve.
Right. And he's basically like, whoa, let's chill for a second, see what these tariffs actually do before we mess with interest rates.
Yeah, he was advocating for a more cautious approach. Like, let's wait and see how this all plays out.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, totally. It's the classic economic playbook. But here's the thing about Trump. He was always playing a different game. He was a big fan of protectionist trade policies, you know, putting America first and all that.
Right.
So it's totally possible that he saw these lower interest rates as a way to, like, soften the blow of tariffs,
Okay.
especially for certain industries. Like, he wanted to encourage companies to invest and grow in the U.S.
So is he like trying to use these two things together?
Maybe.
Tariffs and interest rates?
Yeah, maybe he was thinking that by using them together, he could, like, fine-tune the economy, get the exact outcome he was looking for.
Interesting, because the article also mentions that, like, even before Trump started talking about interest rates, economists were already predicting that the Fed was going to hold off on any cuts.
Oh, yeah, that caused a lot of uncertainty, didn't it?
Total uncertainty.
Because businesses, investors, they need some kind of predictability.
Yeah, they need to know what's going on.
Right. If they have no clue what's happening with interest rates, they get spooked, and they don't make big decisions.
Right. It's like trying to plan a road trip,
Yeah.
but you have no idea what the weather's going to be like.
Exactly. You're just sitting there like, do I pack shorts or a snowsuit?
Exactly. And then on top of all this, the article throws in this little nugget about consumer prices jumping way more than expected in January.
Oh, yeah, that was not a good sign.
That sounds like inflation alarm bells to me.
Yeah, it was definitely a sign that inflation could be heating up. And what's crazy is that economists had been warning about this since like day one of Trump's presidency.
Really?
Yeah, they were worried that his whole trade war thing was going to lead to inflation.
So basically, even though Trump thought lower interest rates and tariffs would be like a power couple,
Yeah, dynamic duo.
a lot of economists were like, this is going to be a messy divorce.
A recipe for disaster.
Yeah. So it's like this huge question mark hanging over everything. Could Trump's plan have actually worked?
It's possible.
Or would it have just blown up in everyone's faces?
It's a tough one. It really makes you think.
Yeah, it really does. It's like a real-life economics experiment that we're all part of.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for breaking all this down.
No problem. It was fun to dive into this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. All right, folks, that's it for today's deep dive. But seriously, go out there and do some more research on this. It's fascinating stuff.
It really is.
Until next time, take care.